Welcome back to our 2-Minute Tuesdays with Trish and Pastor Dave.
2 minute two.
All right, we're back with our next question. It's a bit lengthy again, but it's from Brandon, so here we are.
We love it.
Okay.
Via email.
Yes, via email. All right, so if our interpretation of the Bible changes over time, then what about the Bible is not open to interpretation? And who gets to decide? Wouldn't a higher power existing in the first place also be open to interpretation?
Well, that's an interesting question and multi-layered as usual from Brandon. So here's the deal. Everything that we read, we have to interpret, otherwise it has no meaning.
Yep.
I can say the word splurred or something like that, but without any context or interpretation, it means
What the
nothing.
heck does that mean?
But as soon as I say like the word father,
Yes.
immediately you go through the info in your head
Yep.
to parse out exactly what's meant and the context, and you might ask me, and it's all interpretive work. And I don't
Yep.
think we can deny that. And every word we read of the Bible gets interpreted through this filter, and that's great because God speaks in all of our languages, not just English and Portuguese or whatever, but literally our own personal life experience, God speaks to. Here's the thing though. We also confess as people of faith that that interpretation itself is not God, that there is a God beyond our interpretation, whether or not we understand that God, can access that God or whatever. In many ways, we probably can't, because who can understand infinity and who can understand God? But that God still exists. So we are free to interpret and share our interpretations and even to change them over time in response to each other or
Definitely.
changes in our culture or whatever. But we also say that we do not then lead or determine or define God solely by those interpretations. So the answer to your question is anybody can change the interpretation. And in fact, there are many people in the church today that are saying the God that we were taught about is not actually the God that we know. So questioning that higher power that they were taught, even if that power exists, and in many ways that power doesn't because the interpretation has evolved, right? So
Yep.
yes, everything's on the table, but nothing is definitive. I know that's unsatisfactory, but it's one of those things of faith, like getting on the treadmill. You run and you run and you run. You're never going to be done with it. You're never going to reach the end, but it's still good to do it.
I like that. All right, well, if you have your own question, there's a forum at lightofthespirit.church. There's also his Twitter at
Dave Deckard,
and also how we got this question was from your email, which is
Pastor, Pastor, at sov-id.org, shepherdofthevalley-idaho.org.
exactly, there it is. So all these forums and all these platforms to get us more questions
Yes,
and
we love
answers
it.
and whatever.
And endings to our videos.
And endings to our videos. All right, so we'll see you next week for our next question. Ow!
You hurt yourself?
It hit
Yeah.
almost like a funny bone in my finger.
Do you want me to do it? There we go.
Here we go.